Okay, so this is the first video I'm making in my office. It's rather bare. A gentleman in the office next door gave me a painting, pretty cool. And you get to see my obsession with water. But other than that, let's see. I wanted to make a fresh video about your project. Um, I make one video and just share it because I do a similar project in global and the American government. So the very first part is exactly the same in both classes. And so that's what this is for. And I tell you that in case you happen to be in both, because that's happened before and they're like, what? So that's what it is. Um, I didn't want to use the old video because that seemed tacky because it was for a different time period. And I'm talking all about Dragon Con, which I will always do, but I don't want anyone to think it's about to happen because it's not. This is for week 3, and this is the beginning of your semester-long project. I am updating the grading rubric for it, and once I have that done, I'll do a separate video on that. But I need to get you started. So everybody has been placed in a group. It is right now, what is today? Thursday, January 22nd, and I went by who is listed in the class as of today. So if somebody drops, I'll have to remove them. And if you were dropped and re-added and stuff like that, if you got put into the class after Thursday, January 22nd, I'll have to add you to a group. But pretty much what's going to happen is you're going to go to week 3 and click on the information, and then you're going to see something about semester long project. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Semester long project start. And that's going to give you very bare basics, but then it's going to tell you what group you're in. So there'll be a link. It'll be like group 1 and then 4 names or 5 names, group 2, 4 or 5 names, all the way through group 7. Every one of those groups is also a hyperlink. So if you click on, say, group 1, it's going to take you to a discussion board for that group. These group discussion boards are extremely important. And each of them also have your names underneath the group. This way you could talk because you will be graded on how active, that's the right word, how active you are in this project. And part of that is communicating with your group. You will be graded on how often you're posting, how often you're replying to others, how often there's an actual conversation going. If you come in there and just post like 7 things and you never respond to anybody, that's not going to go well for your grade. If you just never use the group board, that's not going to go well for your grade because legit part of your grade is using the discussion board. I think it's funny I have to spend so much effort on this, but a lot of people panic on group projects and a lot of people panic at it being online. And then they're like, well, my schedule is blah, blah, blah. That's the beauty of online. It doesn't matter what anybody's schedule is because you're not talking. You post your information, everybody can reply at their own leisure. It is everybody's job to keep track of their discussion board. It is no other member's job to remind a student to do it. And I say that because this happens like a lot where someone says, well, I don't go on there all the time, so I need you to text me when you post. No, you don't. It is every student's job to keep up with the discussion board for your group. Now, I keep saying semester long, legit semester long. I'm not giving you a lot of information right off the bat. I am getting you just very basically started. So there are these terms, which I'm about to show you, and have to do these, 5 terms: nationalism, authoritarianism, democracy, dictatorship, totalitarianism. You have to define and discuss these 5 words in your group. Here's the big thing. You know, right off the bat, you think, I'll just copy and paste it, throw it into chat. There's my answer. That's not actually learning it. That's not understanding it. I highly recommend you make your group mates accountable. And when one of your group mates just does a copy paste answer, call them out for it, because your grade is based on actually understanding this, being able to explain it, not copy paste, not chat, but actually absorb it and be able to explain. Nationalism is one that so many people get wrong. They seem to think it's the same thing as patriotism, and it is not. So I highly recommend you take a good solid look at this one. Um, that's pretty much all you have right now is get into the discussion board for your group and then start talking about these 5 words. That's it. That is all you have to do to start. In a couple of weeks, I'll give you more details. But right now, you need to see who in your group is paying attention, who is actually going to be active, who's taking it seriously, and who can actually define things, not just copy and paste. So that's a big thing. So this is it. That's all you're starting with for the very beginning of this semester long project. If you have questions, message me or come by my office. It's 162. All right, peace.